Delighted to be joined by Lennox Lewis in what was a huge week for British boxing. And many have said this is the biggest fight in British boxing since your fight against Frank Bruno back in 1993. Is that fair? Is this bigger? Was that bigger? How big are we talking for this fight?
Well, it depends, because you can't really compare them, because one's going to be in London and one was in a different place. So it's big fights in London are always great, if they can organize it. I love big fights.
How excited are you about this fight? We get to see Tyson Fury back in London again against a man who's been wanting this opportunity for a really long time.
Yeah, Dillian Whyte has come a long way. I've seen his improvement all the way, even with the Povetkin fight, the fact that he got knocked out with Povetkin and he came back and knocked out Povetkin, that shows that, his dedication, focus, and he wants to be a champion.
What have you made of the talk from Tyson Fury this week that, yes, it's the homecoming, but it's also the farewell as well?
Yeah, I mean, I half believe it. I think that, he may want another fight out there. He may want Usyk or Anthony. But right now, he's just saying that.
Do you think there's much more for him to achieve? The one thing he was saying to us is there'll always be the next man. And you probably found that in your career. You beat someone, there's always someone else ahead of you. Would it be a shame if this was the end?
It would be a shame. I'm looking... I love when Tyson Fury fights. I've actually commentated a lot of his fights, and I love the fact that he can give you a great fight and he can come out and he actually can sing for you afterwards. That shows that, he's still got his faculties.
What makes him so special as a boxer? Because you look at the trilogy he had with Deontay Wilder, and yes, the first fight was a draw. Many felt he won it, but he won those three fights in very different ways, different methods of victory.
Yes. Tyson Fury is, he can box orthodox, he can box southpaw, he moves well, and he's also big and tall. So that makes it difficult for a lot of boxers out there to get at him because of the size. How many times have you boxed against a 6'9" guy? Not too many. How many sparring partners can you get 6'9"? Not too many. So, he's special. I
was speaking to Sugar Hill Stewart, and he said it's all about the jab, 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 jab. How difficult is it to get away from Tyson's jab with those attributes you mentioned, the height, the reach he has?
Very difficult, because he could jab with the right or he could jab with the left. It really depends on how he feels about it. And, he's pretty smart as a boxer. His ring IQ is very good. And, as far as his inside fighting, too, is very good. So he can lay on the inside with you and put his weight on you and, and box on the inside and actually get punches off.
What do you make of Dillian Whyte as a fighter? Because I think many have been very pleased with how he's taken on every challenge he's been offered. There's been times when he's been in that WBC #1 position. Many just decide to remain inactive. He's constantly taken on the likes of Derek Chisora, Joseph Parker, Oscar Rivas. He had that fight with Alexander Povetkin. He lost it, but came back in devastating fashion. So what are we looking at with Dillian as a fighter?
Dillian as a fighter is, like I said, much improved fighter. He's come a long way. He's realized that if he does hard work, the results of it is victory. So in the Povetkin fight, he showed me that he realized his mistake. He actually went back to training camp, fixed the mistake, came back and knocked out Povetkin. That shows me that a man is really thinking, and he's climbing the stairs. He's getting better as he goes along.
Everybody seems to suggest that the only way that Dillian can win the fight is by knockout. Now, you know more than most when it comes to boxing. Is that the way you're reading it?
Yeah, I mean, he's, unless he gets that jab going and starts boxing, I think he should really be out there trying to set up his power punch and then going through it that way. But as far as him winning the fight, yeah, anybody can win a fight. They just have to apply themselves. He's got to apply himself in this fight.
Do you think he's got the ability to put Tyson Fury down and keep him down? Tyson's shown plenty of vulnerabilities down the years, and that's probably why fans love him so much as well, because they see some of themselves in him. But nobody's put him down and kept him down. Can Dillian do that?
I look at it like this. You keep knocking on a rock, and suddenly that rock is going to break. And, Tyson Fury got up after a couple punches from another big man, Deontay, And here he's boxing, he's boxing Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte's got power too. So whether he can land on a Tyson Fury is the question, because I always say you can have as much power as possible, but if you can't hit your man, then there's a problem.
How much would you like to have taken on Tyson Fury at your peak, with him being at his peak as well? And what do you think would happen?
I think that would be a great fight, with, of course, me winning. I'm not going to say I'm going to lose. And he would probably say the same thing.
How much respect is there between the pair of you for what you've both achieved in the sport?
Oh, great respect. I mean, I respect what he's done for the sport, what he's doing for the sport, and the fact that his ring IQ, and just how he treats his people, and just how he is.
So we've got this fight this weekend between Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte, and then in July it looks like we will have Anthony Joshua taking on Alexander Usyk. What do you think is going to happen in this rematch? It's so intriguing. It's such an important fight for Anthony.
Yeah, it is. It's a big fight. It's a big fight for him, and he basically realized that there's certain things he should have done in the first fight that he needs to do in the second, and we're going to see if he's going to do them in the second fight. But it's going to be a good fight.
Do you think he will do that? What changes does he need to make? Many fans have got their opinions that he needs to put it on Usyk, but I guess when you're taking on a pound-for-pound great, it's much easier said than done.
Yeah, it's much easier said than done. I use the analogy as, if the strongest man went in there and he went in there to box a heavyweight, he would have to hit the heavyweight. But if the heavyweight's not there to be hit and he's just running around boxing the guy, then the heavyweight wins the fight. Simple as that.
So what happens?
I think it's been a great fight, and I think both fighters are going to come back strong. Both fighters are training right now, and we're just going to have another terrific fight.